All knowledge must be built upon our instinctive beliefs. Rejecting them leaves nothing. Philosophy should reveal the hierarchy of these beliefs, beginning with those we hold most strongly and presenting each as much isolated and as free from irrelevant additions as possible. Philosophy aims at knowledge, but its value lies largely in its uncertainty. It liberates the mind from small preoccupations. The distinction between appearance and reality emerges when contemplating the table. Its color, texture, and shape vary with perspective, light conditions, and sensory experiences, challenging our understanding of what is truly inherent in the table itself. The real table, if there is one, is not the same as what we immediately experience, raising questions about its existence and nature. We can know all those things about physical space which a man born blind might know through other people about the space of sight, but the kind of things which a man born blind could never know about the space of sight we also cannot know about physical space. The faculty of being acquainted with things other than itself is the main characteristic of a mind. Acquaintance with objects essentially consists in a relation between the mind and something other than the mind. It is this that constitutes the mind's power of knowing things. My knowledge of the table is of the kind which we shall call knowledge by description. The table is the physical object which causes such and such sense data. This describes the table by means of the sense data. The question whether we are also acquainted with our bare selves as opposed to particular thoughts and feelings is a very difficult one, upon which it would be rash to speak positively. The chief importance of knowledge by description is that it enables us to pass beyond the limits of our private experience, making much of our knowledge mysterious and therefore doubtful. The problem we have to discuss is whether there is any reason for believing in what is called the uniformity of nature, the belief that everything that has happened or will happen is an instance of some general law to which there are no exceptions. All our conduct is based upon associations that have worked in the past, and this likelihood is dependent for its validity upon the inductive principle. All judgments about intrinsic desirability, such as happiness over misery or goodwill over hatred, are, in part at least, immediate and a priori truths not provable or disprovable by experience, akin to the nature of logic. In the realm of mathematical and logical judgments, such as 2 and 2 are 4, certainty is attained without relying on fresh instances, highlighting the distinction from empirical generalizations where induction remains theoretically superior due to inherent uncertainty. Kant challenged the prevailing view that a priori knowledge must be purely analytic. Recognizing synthetic propositions like those in mathematics, he probed the question of their possibility, marking a crucial shift in philosophical inquiry beyond mere analytic judgments. All our a priori knowledge is concerned with entities that do not exist in the mental or physical world, qualities and relations. These entities, though not substantives, hold significance, transcending mere mental constructs or physical realities. We become acquainted with universals such as sensible qualities and relations through the abstraction of common elements found in sense data, allowing immediate awareness of a priori knowledge concerning these universals. Almost all our common beliefs are either inferred or capable of being inferred from other beliefs, which may be regarded as giving the reason for them. As a rule, the reason has been forgotten or has even never been consciously present to our minds. The essence of memory is not constituted by the image, but by having immediately before the mind an object recognized as past. On intuitive judgments of memory, ultimately, all our knowledge of the past depends. Degrees of self-evidence shape our understanding, from absolute certainty to subtle nuances. This nuanced perspective is vital in preserving the connection between self-evidence and truth. The truth or falsehood of a belief depends on its correspondence with something external, not on any intrinsic quality. Beliefs are not isolated, their properties hinge on relations to external realities. A belief is true when there is a corresponding fact and false when there is no corresponding fact. Minds create beliefs, but once created, the mind cannot make them true or false. Truth depends on facts, not on the mind's involvement. A true belief is not knowledge when deduced from a false belief. Knowledge is what is validly deduced from known premises, but this definition limits knowledge and does not account for beliefs derived through intuitive knowledge, even if by mere association. Our knowledge of what is has become less than formerly supposed, but our knowledge of what may be is enormously increased. Logic, once a bar to possibilities, is now the great liberator of imagination, presenting innumerable alternatives for our choice. The criticism aimed at is not that which determines to reject without reason, but that which considers each piece of apparent knowledge on its merits and retains whatever still appears to be knowledge when this consideration is completed. The value of philosophy lies in its very uncertainty, which liberates thoughts from the tyranny of custom, expands possibilities, and keeps alive a sense of wonder in a world where familiarity tends to breed dogmatism. The true philosophic contemplation finds satisfaction in enlarging the not-self, magnifying objects beyond personal biases, and seeking knowledge with an impersonal, purely contemplative desire. Philosophy, a beacon illuminating the corridors of uncertainty, unveils the profound connections between mind, reality, and the elusive fabric of existence. Logic, often perceived as esoteric, unveils its relevance in philosophy and real life, addressing issues from God's existence to paradoxes of self-reference, change, and probability.